Hi, Kevin Blanch. You activists out there and you Fuku fighters, no time to give up now. No time to give up. We actually have a spark. This has taken so much work for a small group of people to build an apparatus to get the message out. Don't quit now. Don't give up now. There is a silent wave moving across Pacific. Both ways, yeah. PU, here we come. Listen, the propaganda war is in full flight. This is the Cold War 2.0, big time. The greatest propagandists in world history, it's a direct tie, and they're the same thing. The 1% and all you occupiers, the ties between Rupert Murdoch's machine and the I.A.E.A. The greatest cover-up in world history, bar none, nothing's even close, is Chernobyl. The I.A.E.A. spent billions. Why would they spend billions? Because it is the crowning jewel of the 1%. The easiest way to become a billionaire is, you know how much a nuclear reactor profits from a year? I mean, they're billions of dollars. They put up no money. It's the easiest one to be a billionaire ever. It is the biggest, literally, synergized mammal cash cow in world history. Nothing's even close. We cannot give up now. Look, this is fact. This is fact. Japan, via the I.A.E.A., has the I.A.E.A. spent already hundreds of millions in Japan to propaganda this 2.0 propaganda war. I would get 100 emails a day out of Japan. I get 0. Connie in Japan can verify, or in Hawaii can verify this. Nothing. You know how many viewers of mine are Japanese getting information? Anybody who even speaks or sets foot or does anything. You think the NSA here's got you. This is the biggest propaganda war that is going to be waged in, I don't know, maybe ever. Ever. Don't quit now. Look, I want people to know this. This is a very, very real, hardcore fight. This is the most serious subject matter in history, as all great art is serious subject matter, all great movements. As I gave a lecture at the Shirtwaist Fire at Washington Square on the 100th anniversary. Some of the early occupiers, before Occupier was hashed, were there. I've been in communication with the occupiers from day one. As you guys know, I was all ganged up. I was standing on a table with a megaphone when I got freaking sick, the day that I went in. As they started that movement down there, and everybody thinks it's dead. Oh no. I say it like this. The Occupy movement, that was the sex. It was massive. It was, as me and my daughter had an argument yesterday about economics, and philosophy. I says, economics is philosophy. Philosophical shift happened. That was the sex. The Occupy movement, and it was sex not from a crack house, as I write into my post-ignorance book that I wrote long before this in 2010. It is sex born of love. Well, I was in that hospital for almost exactly 9 months, and believe it or not, a lot of the cancer characteristics are kind of like a bad pregnancy, because they tell you don't eat anything once you can't eat that you like, because you'll just, you'll morning sickness it, which you do over and over and over and over. That baby was born. That was a 9-month period. That baby is starting to move and starting to walk. The Occupy movement, as people say, oh, it has no thesis. My daughter turned me on to something yesterday, because I don't know the music scene young. She says, these kids are from Utah. I'm like, wow. Radioactive, I guess a real popular song. Imagine Dragons, I believe they are. As We Pay the Dragons. I don't know if he wrote this with the dump site. As you songers out there, the song's thesis out in California is Utah. You think you could just dump that in our fucking backyard? I got a video. They had to make a special truck and just bring the generator, and that's why I'm going after Allison McFarland, because she says, oh, it's okay. They just buried it in the dirt out there. So, oh, you can just dump it on me. We are already the cancer capital of the world, the autism capital of the world, and I love all you people that study autism. Oh, vaccination. Please, give me a break. Utah, as my PhD poured in, autism. 1 in 32, some people say here. My work showed 1 in 44 in Utah, when the national means 1 in 88. We vaccinated the exact same, always have, identity my PhD to the decimal as the national mean. So why is ours double? Easy. Pollution, dirty air, nuclear fallout, and we live next to the Mac test site. Hello, kills me how the obvious, and to the marine biologists, I've learned something. As they're as lazy as the rest of them. There are no investigative journalists, they're all freelance. The media doesn't use them. The marine biologists at Berkeley, at Oregon State, you pieces of fucking lazy shit. San Diego, because I fucking figured it out. There are no fucking studies, because they're too fucking lazy to get off their ass and do anything. They sit up there in their ivory tower, like they do at our university, when we were the #1 school business in the country when I taught there. #1 via the testing. My tests. When I graduated, when I taught there, both the #1 school business. Now you guys, because they sit on their ivory tower, we fall off a cliff. They sit up there, you microbiologists in your fucking lab and fucking suck up your mind. You don't do shit. You know, what do we got to do? Fucking go rent the SS fucking Minnow and go on a 3-hour tour, you lazy fucks. This is a propaganda fucking war from hell right now. Big time. Do not give up. We have them. We do have them fucking running scared. Factually. We fucking in detail. Don't stop. Don't stop, songs. The hearing down there is going to be massive. We are fucking turning the turn. I get people coming to my site that were more contemporized, that would never anything. And another thing, I want to call this very clear to you songs activists out there. I want to be very, very clear on this. When you come back with a thesis, oh, I'd rather have, you know, no nuclear energy, you know, global environment. You don't have to. This isn't 1973 we're having this argument. This is not 1982 we're having this argument. This is not 2000 we're having this argument as a military coup. This is 2013, while we were busy mass murdering, dropping freaking bombs on people who never did anything as the Christian crusaders, the freaking evil bastards that we turned into. While we were busy doing that, people like Germany has done it. People like Germany were developing solar technology. Solar technology exists, Tesla. Let me tell you something. It was always the solar layback was this. When the sun's out, it will not store the energy while it's in cool down when the sun's not on it. They overcome it. They have it. The wind farms that are being built right here in Utah in the desert are being built by Germans because our universities are freaking, because all our resources, everything in the greatest redistribution of wealth in world history from 1980 till forward. As Miss Clarkson says up there in Eugene so beautifully, mission accomplished. The greatest redistribution of wealth in world history from 1980 till present. Via we got rid of NAFTA, social engineering, as the propaganda machines have went to work and you guys support, you know, go get a gun, go buy gold, go, what are you going to do, shoot the isotopes out of the air? It's not going to work. I understand the thesis. I understand the thesis of not trusting government. How can you trust any of them? I understand it, but if I have to hear this as Obama's a socialist, the greatest socialized people in the history of the world were the United States of America, 1945 to 1980. It is such ignorance. This is a propaganda war that has been waged on you. And the I.A.E.A. is in full flight of their propaganda war right now. Full flight. And us freelancers out there, we are the only ones fighting this because CNN is the I.A.E.A. Fox News is the I.A.E.A. Fox News and CNN are the nuclear energy. Look at the board of directors, the same people. As you drive your shiny coffins back and forth, the average American spends what? The average American family spends nearly $30,000 on their automobiles a year. As GM, as they backdoored and moved to China, they broke the unions first. As America goes, GM goes. So true. Well, GM, I loved it. I loved it how the American government had to bail GM out. Okay, and they just dissolved their stock to zero. If GM was left in the Dow, what would the Dow be? You know they took it out. More social engineering. Okay, so what is GM now? There's nothing American about it. Their board of directors are not, none of them live here. They're the I.A.E.A. They're the same board of directors on Earth. They live all over on there. You know, they're the south of France, they're in Vienna, they're all over the world, wherever. Their exclusive island as he crashes the Italian millionaire in Brazil. They don't make anything here. They make everything in China. Their facility here is peanuts compared to the ones in China. None of the profits go here. They're a multinational. They don't pay no taxes here. You know, but God forbid we build public transport. God forbid we pull, you know, bullet trains because you've been propaganda. You know, go spend. How much money do you spend every time you go to the shooting range? How much money do you spend? Honestly. That's more social engineering they've done on you. They freaking The gun lobby just shoves these things out. Go try pulling one. Try using it. It's called brandishing, you know. So you can spend all the money, and I understand the thesis of not trusting government. Of course, how can you trust this? Any of this fucking government is the fucking King W. Bush did this fucking madness, and his fucking Saudi fucking empire, the Saudi royal family and the English royal family are the same thing. The I.A.E.A, the fucking Saudi royal family, the Bushes, the fucking whole thing, they are the same people. They are the same people. This is a propaganda war. And to you in California, the PU is coming. PU as us punks versus those punks. The nuclear punks versus us punks. Pussy Riot. I love them. I love them as they're protesting what I'm protesting. The social engineering, the hijacking of Christianity, using this freaking machine as Putin takes place of Gorbachev. Gorbachev was getting rid of this as Gorbachev's wife died of this evil fucking disease. And one last thing. There's a bunch of critical condition people watching these videos that are dying. You know, some very close friends of mine that are in very much trouble. They're very sick. I want to say this to you guys, you people. Yeah, I've watched so much death and the angels pass in front of me, including my father, watching him loading his body back. In that hospital, I've sat with the young girl from Chernobyl. You know, Dana, as we put that online while I was giving that speech in that lightning bolt. You know, Tana's little beautiful 5-year-old angel. This purification process that goes through dying through cancer is so purifying and so emotional that I honestly believe that whatever it is that takes us to the next place, I honestly believe that it takes the pure and it takes the good ones. And it hasn't taken me yet. Let's hope that I can live to tell. I've given second a chance for a reason. For me not to carry on this fight and fight with everything I get, I'd have to be the biggest arrogant asshole piece of shit that ever fucking walked. I've been given a second chance, Miracles. Not because maybe I'm not purified enough to move to the next place, which I think is probably true. I've got so much work left to do. You angels that pass of this disease, you are the winners. You don't lose this. As they say, fight like a girl, which means so much, and I'll tell you why it means so much. The #1 killer of leukemia patients as we go through this in men is suicide. You know, the central line, my one friend cut his off. Got a bottle and drank it and cut it off. Let it death. They killed him, and I can see why. It's an epic, horrific battle. Girls never commit suicide. Never. They're so tough, because this disease affects girls even harder than men, and there's a lot of young women that get it. Oh, do they fight like a girl? I've never seen fighters. They're the toughest people. But the angels that pass in front of me, that sit on my shoulders, and they are on my shoulders. They are there. They are there. This whole vlog has been so spiritual, and this whole thing has been so spiritual to me. All this is not for coincidence. Those angels are with me. Whatever that is, what God, whatever it is, the next place, the sun, the moon, the birds, God, whatever it is, He takes the purified. He leaves us who have work to do on ourselves and people else that we have. We are not pure enough to go. They don't lose, they win. And to all you people that are fighting this epic, epic battle and love, you know, I will fight you for you to my death. I will fight for you every day till my death with every fiber of my being. And that is a promise, as I live to tell. Kevin Blanch.